The Pacific region is working towards ensuring 1.5 to stay alive. However, if we overshoot 1.5, there's no chance of going back. There will no longer be climate change adaptation and mitigation, it will be loss and damage.
Obviously this is a real crucial issue for islands in the Pacific. When we talk about loss and damage in the context of the UNFCCC, we're talking about the loss and damage that occurs from climate change, basically irreversible loss due to changes to the climate, damage that's caused from extreme weather events, and basically all the elements of the impacts that we are unable to adapt to. So when we reach the limits of adaptation and there are no financially viable or technically viable solutions for what a community is facing or what an economy is facing in the Pacific or elsewhere in the world, there needs to be in place safety nets to help protect people and culture and economies from the impacts of climate change. What we're seeing as we approach 1.5 degrees is increasingly insurmountable challenges that countries face when we look at the scale of sea level rise. Some tides are rising and getting to the point sea walls that were put in place years ago are no longer effective. We're looking at relocating communities in Fiji as a result of there not being viable solutions for them in their current situation. And if temperature rise continues along these trends, we will just see the loss and damage and impact on people increasing. So this is really a crucial issue and one where we really need to make sure that there's additional financing to the financing that's available for adaptation and mitigation to help buffer the impacts on people. There's been a number of pledges since the opening of COP28 when the presidency gavelled in a decision from parties to operationalize the loss and damage fund that we established at COP27. There's been pledges from the UAE. The first pledge was given by the UAE, 100 million US dollars. There were subsequent pledges from Germany, also $1 million US dollars. I think we're approaching about 600 million US that's been pledged since the beginning of COP28, and hopefully there'll be further pledges to come. So in a situation where you have, say, if we're talking about sea level rise and there's a need to increase coastal protection because of the vulnerability of a community or city urban center, if land reclamation is a potential solution, that could be a form of adaptation, and that would be where we are, really focused. So loss and damage is really important for those situations when we have no more options and we need to look at complete alternatives. But if we're able to find a solution in situ or in the place where the problem exists, we would classify that more as adaptation, and that would be really where a huge amount of funding. The focus of funding really needs to be is also on adaptation. So loss and damage provides a further buffer for when we are unable to adapt, we reach those limits. But we need to be clear that our focus is still on the ability to adapt to climate change and not just focus primarily on loss and damage.
It's a positive outlook that the Loss and Damage Fund has reached 600 million. But as we heard from Lund and other Pacific Island members, we know that it's not enough. This is Pasifika Cameron for Pasifika TV.